Russ Rogers has a question. Russ, go ahead.
Mark, my question was really, and it's kind of interesting. You prefaced this with a speech about hate because one of the targets of hate from the right has always been the squad, right? And I guess the way I see it is now we have four sophomore representatives that bear a lot of the zeitgeist, but how much power do they really have?
Russ, it's a great question. And I think that the presumption of grace is really not extended to the members of the squad led by Donald Trump, but in general. I don't think I've met any of the four of them. I've seen them on TV and I've watched them closely, and I think some of their policy positions are interesting. Some a lot of people find to be dangerous, but I think that the failure to show them grace is a really, really great example, a stark example of what I'm talking about, and the difficulty we have in our country now of showing grace towards people who are demonized by our tribe. President Trump has demonized them, and that has made it more difficult for them to be afforded grace. But like so many things with Donald Trump, for which he is blamed for creating, that's one of the many examples where he just figured out that that's where the parade was, and he ran to the front of it. He knew that there was a large part of this country, unfortunately, that wanted to show them a presumption of guilt, a presumption of hatred. They've got influence because they get a lot of media attention. And they've also got influence because they represent the aspirations of tens of millions of Americans. And I think the press sometimes, even though the press tends to tilt liberal, I think the press sometimes treats their views like they're fully marginalized in some way. When in fact, although they may not have a majority of support, they've got growing support in the Democratic Party. And again, tens of millions of Americans agree with their positions on many issues. Nancy Pelosi has, I think, often not shown them a presumption of grace, and I think has tried to marginalize them in terms of their power. But they are influential, and I think they'll be more influential if they recruit others who share their views, and if they focus on getting things done, which is difficult in this climate, but getting things done as opposed to just being about rhetoric. I know they've tried. I'm not diminishing their efforts, but I think they're going to have to start succeeding more to be part of legislating as opposed to pointing out issues, which is also an important function of someone in public life. Russ, thank you for your question.